From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Tonight on Q2, a much anticipated grand opening.
Long lines, excited customers, and lots of chicken rule the day in Billings.
I may have squeaked just a little bit.
We'll be live at Chic-fil-A and take you all the way from 6:30 this morning to now.
And who's got mail?
It wasn't so much for me as it was for the people that needed their medicine.
Some residents in the Heights haven't seen a mailman for days, and now they're asking why.
The MTN 530 News starts right now. Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Russ Riesinger. We'll check back in with Andrea in the studio coming up in just a little bit. But we begin tonight here at Billings' new Chick-fil-A. As you can see behind me, the lines are pretty long and have been for most of the day here on this much anticipated opening day for the new restaurant. Of course, rumors of a Chick-fil-A coming to Billings began to surface about 2 years ago, and now the day is finally here. The popular chicken chain opening its doors at 6:30 this morning, but customers began lining up, believe it or not, about 5 hours before that. This is what the lines have looked like for much of the day. Of course, there were two big questions with the opening of this new restaurant, and not necessarily in this order. One, how's the chicken? And the other, how's the traffic? There were a lot of concerns that the opening of this new restaurant would cause a traffic nightmare on 24th and also on King Avenue. We'll have more on that coming up in just a second. But first, the excitement. Long before the sun came up, people were already coming out. The opening of Billings' much anticipated first Chick-fil-A drawing quite a crowd of eager customers with steady lines throughout the day. This is how it looked during the lunch rush hour. The wait didn't bother West High student Taylor Johnson.
About 20 minutes right now, but we're really excited. It's been moving at a fast pace. So.
Yeah. It wasn't exactly fast food on this first day, but it was a lot quicker for those who parked their cars and walked inside to eat. And most, like Chris Larash, weren't disappointed. What are you giving the rating for it?
10 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I was excited for it to come. So.
What makes it so special?
I just think the consistency. So we've been to Chick-fil-A, all over the Western U.S. and every time it's the same, and I really appreciate that about it. So it's really good.
Just got off of work, my coworkers were like, "Chick-fil-A's open." I was like, "What? Chick-fil-A's open?" So first thing I did when I heard it was just came right down there. So.
And how was the chicken?
Fast food chicken. This is the best fast food chicken ever.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Hershey brought her two kids out. They'd had it before and wanted to eat more chicken. What did you have?
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. How were they?
Good.
What do you think makes it so special? I see people waiting in line for
Sure.
45 minutes.
I think honestly their customer service is probably, it's a chicken sandwich, but the company franchise I think does a good job. So
just the way they cook it and the customer service and the people.
So you'll probably be back, I think.
Yes. I want to come back like dinner time.
Well, long lines are certainly nothing new for grand openings here in Billings. This was the scene back in 2011 when the Sonic opened up out in the Billings Heights, clogging up Main Street for hours. We also saw similar opening day traffic troubles at Popeyes and Krispy Kreme Donuts. So by comparison, opening day here at Chick-fil-A has been pretty smooth for the most part. It is much busier right now than it was a little earlier. Now, our Jackie Coffin wanted to check out how long it would take her to get through the line. Here's her report.
Line started in the Walmart parking lot.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
MTN's Kelsey Marison and I got in line right around 11:30 to see just how long it would take and shared our experience with you on Facebook Live.
So this nice officer was just saying it might be better to go inside right now.
Let's start the timer. Within 5 minutes, we stopped to talk to a few police officers helping to conduct traffic. And at the 10-minute mark, we made it out of the Walmart parking lot and into the start of the Chick-fil-A parking lot. As drivers like us were waiting in line, Bo Contreras and his friends skipped the line and went right to the lobby.
Our friend said it was faster. Yeah. Our friends already came through and they said it was faster than the drive-thru.
I didn't eat all day. I've been waiting for this, so I'm very excited.
They were right. Little to no wait there. And a new fast food restaurant in Billings is something the hungry teens have been waiting for.
How long have you been looking forward to this?
A long time. Yeah. Long time.
But back in the car, things moved much slower. After about 36 minutes, we were able to place our order. But we hadn't reached the finish line just yet. After another 11 minutes, 47 minutes after we got in line, we had our food, right about what I had predicted.
Chick-fil-A!
In Billings, Jackie Coffin, MTN News.
All right, thank you, Jackie, and we'll have more from out here coming up in just a little bit. But right now, we want to send it back to the Q2 studios and check in with meteorologist Ed McIntosh for the latest on the weather. Ed?
As you can see with Russ, it's fairly comfortable out there this evening. Temperatures still at or warmer than average. In fact, 39 right now at the Billings Airport. 30s across the eastern plains. You see some snow shower activity off towards the west as we take a look. These are over just the last couple of hours, the latest radar for us. And I can't believe I have to talk about this again tonight, but yes, there is the potential for more fog to start to develop as we go through the overnight hours of northeastern Montana into the eastern plains. Fairly limited, but as we've seen in the last couple of days, the visibility could be impacted and still some slippery spots. I can't remember another season where we've seen so consistently areas of fog hold up for so many days. 45 was the warmest reading in Billings today, 23 for the overnight low. For the day and for the month, we're running about 7 degrees above average. More on the weather coming up, but first, here's Andrea.
All right, Ed, thanks so much. Well, tonight residents in the Billings Heights are asking where's the mail. Some say they haven't received their mail in nearly a week. Our Charlie Claps visited a senior living complex today where residents are especially concerned. He's got the details.
It's something most people do every day, walk down to their mailbox to pick up the day's deliveries. But imagine getting there and finding nothing, a mailbox that's completely empty for days in a row. That's been the reality for people all over the city of Billings this past week. Most of us take the mail for granted. It shows up like clockwork each and every day. So when it doesn't, it's noticeable, especially here at the Aspen Grove Senior Apartment Complex in the Heights.
The complex got mail once in the last week.
Carol Bates has lived at Aspen Grove for 2 years. She spends most of her days in this wheelchair, and like many who live here, she depends on the mail more than most.
I personally have trouble going places, so I order tons of stuff to be delivered to me. I can only carry so much on my chair.
Thursday was a good day. The mail had finally arrived.
My cord went out for my computer system, so I had to get a different cord.
But for the past 5 days, she says the mailman never even showed up.
We have a lot of people that take a lot of medications, and their medications come, a lot of them, by mail.
Billings isn't the only city reporting mail mayhem. Residents of Bozeman and Missoula have reported similar frustrations with the mail being delivered this week. Kimberly Frum, a spokesperson with USPS, said this week in a quote, "The Postal Service is not immune from the staffing challenges and hiring challenges that nearly every industry across the country is facing." MTN reached out to the post office's spokesperson here in Billings, but multiple calls were not returned.
That's not something that's safe for people. We need to get mail more than once a week.
She's hopeful it will continue to arrive on time, not just for her sake, but for her neighbors at the complex.
It's inconvenient if it's something you need immediately. You know, this wasn't something I needed immediately, but I am concerned about the people that need medicine.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Charlie. At Sleeping Giants ski area in the Bighorn Basin, you'll meet some old timers and you're going to meet some new faces too. Families from Ukraine are finding refuge in Wyoming and in skiing. MTN's Augusta McDonald has the story.
Their journey to this mountain is winding.
This ski hill is it's a beginner ski hill, really. So a lot of people have learned how to ski out here that are part of the community. We have 4 generations of skiers out of the mountain right now.
Refugees find themselves making a new life on slopes a world away from their home.
Did you ski before you came here?
No, in Ukraine I don't have that experience, but here I'm just trying. I'm trying snowbike. That's cool.
Oh, you're trying to snowbike?
Yes, that's great. Yeah, really.
Galina owned multiple salons in Ukraine. Now she and her daughter Dasha settling in.
Do you like skiing?
Yeah. Here we just feel like at home. Why? Because it's quiet. a lot of kind people who want to help us. Really, it's important for us. And here, safety.
Galina got the job at Sleeping Giant through a businessman and friend from Cody, closely tied to Ukraine.
When I graduated from college, I went to Europe, I thought maybe for 6 months, and it ended up turning into about 20 years.
He met Yulia there. They've been splitting their time between Kyiv and Cody for several years. He bought the mountain several years ago to keep it open for Park County residents.
It's been a labor of love. This is our third season, and we're learning a lot. But we're trying to make it fun. We try to make it a space for everybody.
He invests in multiple industries in Ukraine, and when bombs started falling,
it was a tough time. We were trying to get our employees and friends out of Ukraine. Men were unable to leave for the most part, but what we said was, look, if you want to get your families out, we're here. It was an emotional time.
They've sponsored 10 families to come to the Cody area through the State Department's United for Ukraine program and to safety, but things will never be the same.
We just see it even when we're talking to friends over there, right? Their world has changed so much, right? We had friends at the beginning of the war, writing their addresses and our addresses and phone numbers on their kids' chests with markers because they weren't sure if they were going to lose them at the border or whatnot, right? And I don't know, I don't know how you come back from all that.
He says he finds it therapeutic to ski. Sleeping Giant is offering free passes to anyone from Ukraine so they too can find some peace. Near Cody, I'm Augusta McDonald for MTN News.
All right, coming up next here on the MTN 530 News on Q2, we're joining Russ back out at Chick-fil-A and have reaction from those early birds who woke up long before the sun to get in line. And in sports, one Golden Bear looks to rebound from injury, hoping to lead Billings West to hardware. Stay with us.